Hi folks, so as you know, we're here at Videoscape Europe and I am standing next to none other than Bill Gash. Now if you don't know Bill, don't worry, you soon will. Bill is actually the sales director at CSG and he oversees Ascendon, which is the ITV business. Tell me Bill, how are you finding Videoscape Europe?
So this is a great event. Thank you for asking me to offer a view.
Of course.
We are obviously at the British Academy of Film and Television Arts. So
what better place to be?
Exactly. So I think you're right. I mean, Ascendon is primarily, or was originally conceived as a way of helping clients monetize premium content, so live and on-demand video. Actually, it supports other digital goods and also supports digital services. And the reason why that's worth noting is that a lot of our clients are thinking about, well, if I can sort of make revenue through a relationship with content, maybe I can bring other things into the mix.
Right.
So music or ebooks or games or merchandise or tickets.
Nice.
And we work with a wide variety of clients. So we work with media brands, so Hollywood studios, sports brands like Formula One, one of our clients.
Fantastic.
And Formula One is a very good example of an organisation going through transformation, trying to engage new fans with
very much so.
OTT TV experiences like F1 TV.
Yes.
Also using social media very heavily to draw younger audiences into Formula One, perhaps for the first time.
Yes.
And they look at their business as a connected ecosystem of everything from tickets to merchandise to travel to trackside experiences to the video as well. So we're helping them unify that through a single view of the customer.
Wow.
So what is really the theme, if you like, from today's Videoscape event is around how do I get a viable business? How do I keep the customers I've acquired?
Right.
How do I reduce churn?
Yes.
And while I have a relationship with the customer, how can I think in terms of lifetime customer value? So what a point that I was making in this panel session I was on earlier today.
Yes, I watched.
Was really you've got to think about how that relationship might ebb and flow. That as a consumer, I might want to dial up and dial down the relationship I have with a service provider. Why is that important? Because as Richard Davidson-Houston from Channel 4 for All 4 pointed out, consumers have control.
Yeah.
Consumers have control over where and when they consume content. They have more and more control over what they want to see. They certainly have more control over what they want to pay for. And the nature of the relationship they want to have with you as a service will vary over time. So we're helping our clients look at how they can monetize that relationship, how they can give content to the consumer on their terms, on the consumer's terms, and how they can make that an easy, affordable, valued, and most importantly, personalized experience. So that's really the video component. And Ascendon is a cloud, AWS cloud, software as a service platform.
Okay.
So it comprises of digital back office tools that help our clients manage the customer as a digital consumer. They help them manage their product catalog. That could be video, it could be other goods and services. It helps them manage how they commercialize that and monetize that. And critically, it helps them merchandise or use offer management, to use a sort of pay-per-view expression, which is really about how you keep a consumer engaged and loyal. Prevent them churning out. The big point that was made earlier today was you shouldn't let churn happen. Churn's a bad thing. Because you've got to then reacquire a customer to replace them.
It's far more expensive to reacquire than keep them in your ecosystem.
So I think our view is really use those tools to sort of create that more engaged, loyal user relationship. And over time, you're looking at things that you can upsell and cross-sell and potentially involve other partners or other parts of your business as well in that mix.
So what are some tips you'd give, say an OTT is watching here, head of commercialization for their content, they're watching this today and they're like, I want to reduce my churn. Is there anything you can kind of, a little tip, or do they have to engage you and give you a call up and set a meeting to, I mean, every business is different. Every business is different, right?
I think if there was a magic formula, I probably wouldn't be having to sit here and do this. I think the reality is a lot of our clients are looking to respond to the expectations that digital consumers have, which largely have been set by the sort of digital native brands, whether that's services like Amazon or Netflix or Uber. And increasingly the consumers want to have sort of, as I said, content on their terms. I think I described earlier how you have to have this sort of spectrum from free ad funded, maybe where you actually get the consumer to register but they're not paying anything for that access. And then maybe you introduce more exclusive content on a paid-for model, and maybe that might be tiered subscriptions to move people up a tier, but also allow people to perhaps trade down a tier in that relationship because for whatever reason their needs change. You don't want to lose them, you don't want to churn them out, see them churn out altogether. So I think to have the tools in place,
yes,
which is really about how you sort of understand and use insight to
yes,
feed that relationship and be very proactive about reminding customers what they have, what
right,
they're entitled to, what they might benefit from if they want to pay a little bit more money,
yes,
and what they might want to consider before they leave in terms of another way of continuing that relationship, perhaps on maybe slipping down a tier in terms of subscription costs and so forth, rather than leave altogether. So I think I don't know if those are tips or tricks.
No, look, it all makes sense. It's true. It's definitely, I think as you mentioned at one stage, it's kind of the content arms race out there. And there's been a lot of talk today, who are going to be the winners and how are they going to win? Is it going to be content? Is it going to be pricing? Is it going to be availability? Is it going to be quality of, the streaming? Like, obviously it's all those things together, we know that. But are there things that you're seeing or I guess trends that you think this will be how the OTT that comes up on top that gets this right?
Well, I think there's certainly going to be a level of consolidation in the market. Things sort of can't go on. The content arms race is not something which is tenable, and it's obviously being led by those companies which have the biggest footprint in terms of they can
they've got the deep pockets.
They've got the deep pockets, they've got the global footprint, and they can amortize the cost of colossal content investments.
Right.
If you're a national broadcaster, if you're a geographically limited service, then your problem is you're up against people who look at the world as their oyster, literally. So our view is actually a lot of companies are probably going to make a successful living, but they'll have the same content. They won't necessarily have the most exclusive, richest, most expensive content. What they will have to do is create a better experience. And that really is the battlefield. That's really where your service is going to be differentiated from that of your rival. Because the consumer, when they get into the account, is being recognized as an individual. It's surfacing more relevant content that they're going to enjoy. It's more able to respond to their sort of profile and preferences. And if you're asking them to pay, it's incredibly easy and intuitive, simple and quick, and it's valuable. It's offering a value proposition.
Absolutely.
It's crazy expensive.
Right.
But if it's, we were talking earlier today about global mass niche type services, if it's something you're really passionate about, you may pay extra because it's something you really value and it's not available elsewhere.
Right.
So I think I think there's to be successful in the future, you have to look at what some of the digital native brands do extremely well.
Yes.
They are incredibly agile businesses. They're very able to scale up a new service very quickly. They're not afraid of failure. They have a fail-forward culture.
Yes.
Try stuff.
Yes.
It doesn't work, forget it.
Very
Try
much
Netflix. Very like Netflix, very like Google.
Yes.
If you're an organisation that isn't historically familiar with that, that is quite hard. If you're a business that takes 2 years to launch a product and a lot of people invested huge amounts of time, money, ego, then that is complex as well.
Yes.
But we think there's the technology, there's the business, there's the culture. And all of those things have to be aligned if you're going to be successful.
Absolutely.
And we help our clients by really taking away some of the worries about technology. That's really what we're an outsourced solution.
It's very interesting because, I mean, each company has its own, their own beasts, if you will. And certainly some have... I guess a culture of fear where others don't. So the Netflix of the world, they're fearless. They encourage innovation. They go forward. They have the pockets to take chances, to take risks. And if they fail, they fail. If they do extremely well, they're the first to do it. And then you have businesses that have a legacy brand, and they can't do things for whatnot. How do you approach both these type of pillars? And how do you add value in kind of informing them that, okay, maybe they're a content-first company, maybe they're a tech-first company, but how do you get that balance right? That's the magic ingredient, isn't it?
It is. I think that if I look across our sort of portfolio of clients, and we're working with about 25 top or tier one service provider or media and sports businesses.
Right.
Some of those companies have coming this entirely new, but that's very rare to have a greenfield opportunity where they can launch a service with no infrastructure, no legacy system. The majority of our clients, because they're premium brands, have been doing something for some time.
Yes.
And what we're providing them is a set of solutions that augment what they already have. And
right.
That's incredibly valuable.
Yes.
If you're a pay TV operator or a telco or a mobile operator, and you're wedded to the legacy systems that served your business well in the past, are less suitable for the digital era that we live in today, where the consumer's expectations are being set by an entirely different bunch of brands.
Yes.
So what we help them do is sort of sweat the assets, and effectively you're pushing the
I like that, sweat the assets.
Legacy systems
Yes.
to work harder,
Yep.
to be more effective by augmenting those, or what we call overlaying, the sort of digital capabilities I described, the back office tool set, to allow those clients to launch these digital offerings and get them to scale fast and start monetizing them.
Yeah.
And in the process, what you're actually able to do is pull the company by a series of steps into a digital transformation strategy. Not by throwing out everything and starting fresh, that's not going to work,
yes.
but by basically taking a series of incremental moves that start pulling your business into sort of cloud-based operations, SaaS software business models, and reducing the level of investment that you have in on-prem enterprise software, where a lot of your cost is maintenance, support, upgrades.
Absolutely.
And having dedicated teams of people that really understand maybe just that software.
Yeah.
One of our clients, TalkTalk,
Right.
and they've undertaken a lot of that type of digital transformation and simplify their back office systems using Ascendon. We're seeing more and more clients desire that type of quantum leap, if you like, or shift.
Yes, yes.
And of course, we can also go to clients and say, well, if you want us to run your business for you,
right.
run your operations for you, run your billings for you,
right.
that is part of what we do for some of the telco clients in the world today.
Fantastic.
So they're able to look at their business and say, we can take about 30% of our operating costs out.
Right.
And that pleases shareholders, CFOs,
yes,
investors,
absolutely.
immeasurably. So, we're a very interesting company. OTT is only one part of what we do.
Yes, I see that. It is one sector, you cover many industries, but sounds like certainly you're more or less an end-to-end solution. You'll join the dots, or not the beginning, you're more the end, right? More the end.
No, I think it's more than that. I think I'm always very suspicious of a company that says we do everything. People have certain capabilities that they're extremely good at. And I think CSG is historically focused on how do you build long-term transactional relationships with consumers.
Right.
How do you keep those customers loyal? How do you care for those customers? That is new for a lot of media brands coming in, where they are suddenly responsible for a happy customer. And having to deal with unhappy customers can be pretty ugly.
Yes.
So we focus on some key elements that clients need if they're going to be successful in that new sort of digital world. And we take a lot of responsibility through the solutions we provide to allow them to focus on their end customers, their business, their revenues. Being an entertainment company, if you're in the world of video, for example, here today at BAFTA. But of course, as I said earlier, that what we've developed for that market has wider applications for digital goods and digital services too.
Fantastic.
And we're seeing more and more interest as companies want to compete for the digital consumer.
Yes, absolutely. It's a super competitive space, and we love it for that. It definitely keeps people like yourself and I busy, so I love it. I love events like this where you really do have a great sector of industry professionals, and you also have a lot of research and data analysts here. We've seen some amazing data from the industry, which has been fantastic. Has there been any takeaways from today's event that you've kind of gone away with and thought, oh, okay, didn't know that, that's nice to know, or something you might have already known, it reconfirmed it for you?
I think there's a certain amount of introspection. I mean, there are individuals, there's certainly companies in the UK and Europe which are trying to figure out, where did we get it wrong? Where did we place our money on the wrong bets?
Right.
Where did we miscalculate the size of this market? How quickly it would grow? Where do we get distracted by other things and fail to focus on what was important? I always take a view, there's plenty of time to turn over a new leaf, start again.
Yes.
Take a new approach, look at a different partner, technology solutions, as part of that, to get yourself back on track and get your business heading in the right direction. Right. Redemption is at hand.
Redemption is at hand. But, Bill Gash is here.
Exactly. But I think that's part of that comes back to what I said about culture, which is acknowledging you can't be good at everything.
Right.
That failure is normal. Failure is human. What you can't afford today in the sort of digital era is to allow something to drift. To delay decisions, to not focus on the core business problem, to almost have a sort of messianic belief you're right and everyone else is wrong, and then 2-3 years later come back from that position. You've got to be able to turn things around very quickly.
Absolutely.
So a lot of what we're providing to clients are the capabilities that allow them to make these decisions with perhaps not the complete picture, launch services fast, scale them quickly, use multiple means to monetize them, from advertising to subscriptions to rentals to sell-through to pay-per-view, and use all those different payment instruments. Your company working with Democo, for example, and then use data and insight in real time to learn what's working, what's successful, and terminate stuff that isn't successful.
Right. Right.
That's the way Google's done.
Yes.
Netflix, Amazon,
Yeah.
those businesses do
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
They have a culture around failure and fail forward.
Yeah.
And we just encourage our clients to think like those businesses do. You don't have to throw everything out.
No,
That. You can retain a lot of what you have.
Don't have to throw out the babe for the bathwater, as they say.
And I think it's an exciting time. It's,
Yeah.
it's a significant conference, this one. It brings together a lot of different content businesses, advertising partners, as you say, a lot of research companies making a killing out of trying to explain what's going on.
Yeah, let us work it out.
And then helpfully, technology solutions companies which are saying, well, actually, we've been there. We've been through in the trenches with our clients.
Right.
We've learned the hard way over the last 10 years in the case of CSG.
Right.
And we're able to bring a lot of experience from the telco, mobile operators, pay TV companies, broadcasters, Hollywood studios, sports brands, cinema companies. Cineplex and Canada. All of that feeds a very interesting conversation with the clients.
Yes, absolutely. Fantastic. Now, we do have two last questions for you that we always ask here at Parlay Me. Now, they're very important. Yeah. Similar to that. Ready? You can't guess it. So if I gather there's been someone in your life that has come along and you've thought, okay, they embody. I'm hoping there has been. There's always someone, right? It could be in a mentor, could be someone in your family, could be someone you met today, but someone that kind of embodies for you what entrepreneurship is, business leadership. It might be, it could be your dog. I mean, some people say that. It's a thing. I've had it. But is there someone or something that embodies for you what it is to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I'm a son of an entrepreneur. My dad was a self-made man.
Okay. Self-made man, we like that.
Limited sort of academic sort of qualifications.
Yes.
Got into publishing, events, exhibitions,
fantastic.
Magazines before the internet.
Right, yes.
Before the pre-digital world.
Yes.
So that's interesting having had that sort of grounding, if you will.
Yes, absolutely. That's perfect. You don't have to.
I think the most important thing that anybody has to learn today is to adapt. Look at where you are, look where you want to get to.
Yes.
And be prepared to take risks and go in a slightly different direction to get there.
Right.
And I think that's really, I've had a portfolio career, if you like that.
Yes, indeed.
Different industries,
indeed, yes.
And today, we're sitting here in a world which is being changed out of all recognition.
I know.
And I'm working for a company that's being the change agent in a lot of its clients' business and helping them sort of adapt to that world and succeed.
Yes, no, it's very, very important. Now, last question, most important one of the day. If you're a gambling man, now we're not endorsing gambling here, folks, but if you were, would you be a blackjack, a roulette, or a poker player?
I think a roulette.
Roulette, very cool. And black or red? Red or black? Black or red? Black. Is it black? Okay, interesting. We always think there's an element of risk-taking in all business, and we like this little analogy at Parlay Me for what is your choice of poison, more or less.
What's my favourite way of losing money?
Yeah, what's your favourite? But again, we're not endorsing gambling, people. But thank you, Bill. I really appreciate your time. Enjoy all that is Videoscape Europe.
I look forward to seeing this and
yes,
meeting the audience.
Yes, indeed, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.